The truly wise understand knowledge and action to be one and the same, but the immature think of them to be different. Been a while since I posted over here, but had to share this because this was on my mind. And the question really is, what is your average screen time? Okay, let me know in the comments below, because this is something that I was contemplating last Sunday. You know, the iPhone has their metric on what your average screen time was, and my phone screen time was over 3 hours, and I imagine it was even more on my laptop. And where this comes into the discussion of knowledge is how we can draw the difference between knowledge and information. Okay, because what you are watching in this video right now, what you watch on other YouTube videos, what you read in books, what you consume in courses, all of this is information. Okay, and this took me a long time to understand, because I am someone with a voracious appetite for reading, for growing, for learning, for studying, but none of that is really a replacement for your own experience. Okay, because so many of us have questions and we're looking to all of these different voices online about what is the best approach, how best to make money, how best to start relationships, how best to eat, like all of these different areas of life. And we are blessed to be living in this day of information, or age of information, but the more that we look at a screen, the less that we're actually experiencing our lives, the less that we're actually gathering real world feedback. Okay, and this is something that in my experience has caused me to some extent lose touch with my sense of reality, thinking that what I read in a book, or what I hear in a video, or what I watch and learn from someone else's experience, that is reality. But really, that is just one perspective of reality. That is one approach that may work for someone. And it's amazing that we have the opportunity to hear about all these different points of view, but this can also be a slippery slope when we're listening to so many different points of views, and this can become overwhelming, and this holds us back from actually going out there and gathering the experience and trusting ourselves enough to come up with what is best for us. And also keeping that open mind, like, okay, this is a theory that I have in terms of what's best for me, and I'm going to go and experiment with this theory. I'm going to gather feedback from the real world in terms of whether my theory is accurate or not. Based on that feedback, I can go ahead and optimize my hypothesis. But when we sit back from taking action, when we procrastinate, when we delay things into the future, thinking that, oh, I need to gather more information before taking action, understand that the only source of knowledge is the experience, right? Because knowledge and information is different. Information is something that you can intellectually wrap your head around. Maybe you can even share that information with someone else with your words, like whatever goal that you're achieving right now, you know, whether it's in the department of health or your finances or your relationships. I'm sure if you've consumed enough content on it, you can go and communicate with someone with your words in terms of how they can achieve a similar result. When it comes to achieving that result for yourself, maybe you do not have the results that you want because the action is not in alignment with your intellectual understanding. Okay, because to know and not to do is not to know, right? That's true knowledge, is when action is in alignment with it. I can know, or I can have the information in my mind in terms of what the damaging effects of sugar are. I can have the information in my mind in terms of how best to approach my online business. But unless my actions are in alignment with that information, that is not knowledge. Okay, and the reason that screen time comes up a lot for me is because I notice myself getting lost in this web of so much information out there. And you know, part of it is entertaining for me to go through books and gather these new ideas and get that dopamine experience of intellectually engaging with these ideas. But until they become something that leads to a new experience, until they change your behavior, they will not change your life. And that is where, in my experience, personal development can fail for a lot of people, is when the people fail to implement the information in their lives, when the people fail to change their behaviors, allowing to gather the new experience, so that they can determine for themselves whether a particular branch of information, whether a particular point of view, whether a particular perspective is the best for them or not. And then we have all of these different debates on this is the best diet, this is the best workout, this is the best way to start a business, this is the best XYZ. But at the end of the day, only your experience can validate what is best for you. And the more time that you spend on a screen, the less time that you're actually experiencing the reality that is around you, and the more time you're getting lost in the sauce, so to speak. Right? So, just to update you on my situation, what I've been up to over the last couple of, I think it's been a couple of months since I posted on here. And my dilemma was that I was becoming a source of spiritual entertainment. And, there was a spiritual ego, you can say, that wanted to come out here and change the world and change people's lives. But I realized that, at the end of the day, I have to become more selfish and realize that, okay, I stopped posting because I thought I wasn't changing lives, but really making these videos helps me change my own life. This is really me thinking out loud and navigating the mazes of my own mind as I share these ideas with you. Hopefully they can benefit you as well. But just moving forward, I really want to do my best to come through the perspective that this is me just sharing these ideas. Nothing is right, wrong, good or bad. It's just something that I'm sharing. If it resonates with you, go ahead and implement that idea, execute it, have the experience, and then come up with the conclusion on whether it's right for you or not, right? The problem that we have, that I've observed in myself and a lot of other people that I work with and friends and just the different people in my life, is that we tend to consume information through a screen, and then we end up having this thought pattern and belief pattern that this, what I see on the screen, is true, right? Whether it has to do with world events, whether it has to do with what the media is telling you, we sit and observe this information through a screen and we take it to mean that is reality, but that is not reality. The only reality is the one that you experience and can validate through your own experience, right? So that's been my contemplation. And my intention is to share more of my thoughts coming forward, because like I said, I have to become more selfish and realize that making these videos actually helps me a lot more. Maybe it helps you as well, but it definitely helps me a lot more than it helps you. I can tell you that for sure. So if you have ideas to share, I definitely encourage you to go out there and take action so that you can gain the new experiences and eventually become a new person as a result of that, okay? Because it just goes back to the same analogy of swimming, right? You can read all the books on the techniques and tricks and tips on swimming, but until you dive head first into that pool, okay, don't dive head first. Of course, you can take the precautions. Maybe you can wear a life jacket. Maybe you can go to the shallow end. Maybe you can dip your toe in the water before going head first, right? Because that is the other end of the spectrum, where you're like, yo, I have to take massive action right now, and then your body is not ready for it, your mind is not ready for it, you may not be ready for it, and then you're basically on day one trying to bench press 200 pounds, and then maybe you're able to do it, but then you pop your shoulder in the process, right? So everything is nuanced, everything depends on the context, and nothing at the end of the day can validate what is true or not other than your own experience. And even that can change over time, because what is best for you right now may be suitable for you according to your level of consciousness, your stage of life right now, and at a later stage that same thing might not be what's best for you. So always keeping that open mind, always having that beginner's mind, right? Because it goes back to that old Zen saying that in the beginner's mind the possibilities are endless, but in the expert's mind the possibilities are few. So the more that I can make the intention to keep that beginner's mind, the more I stay open to the limitless possibilities that life offers us. And yes, that can get overwhelming, but it's about keeping the big picture vision in terms of where you see yourself over the long term, what experiments may help you get there, and then through your feedback you'll realize whether a particular experiment was beneficial for you or not. This is really coming at it from the scientific mindset, right? How to think like a scientist comes down to experimenting, comes down to gathering the experience and the feedback from the real world, observing that feedback, analyzing that feedback, adjusting that feedback, taking that feedback, putting it back into the hypothesis, adjusting the hypothesis, and then creating new experiments from there. And if you can do that, then you can really learn to think for yourself rather than become overwhelmed and confused by all the information out there, right? So just a bit of a rant for you, and let me know in the comments what you want to see from me moving forward. Like I said with you, over the past couple of months, actually it's been about a year at this point, working on a lot of paid traffic, working on building my online business. If you want me to share more about that, I've been working on the calisthenics journey, on the body weight training and stuff like that. And I would love to share more about my experience, because that helps me better integrate it as well. So let me know, what is your number one struggle right now in life? What's your number one goal? Let's open up the conversation in the comment section, because chances are that if you're watching this, then you've been following my stuff for a while. And my intention is to continue sharing my thoughts with you, and hope that they can provide you with value, because they definitely do for me. Okay, so with that being said, let me know in the comment section what's up with you. Let's open up that conversation, and we can conclude this video. I've lost the flow on how to close these videos, so this is extending on, but I will end it now. And I wish you nothing but the best. Okay, much love to you. Take care.